Welcome back. Stas 23 here, back again with some knife therapy. And today's knife is the Civivi Hooligan. The Hooligan came in at $54 at GP Knives. And I'll say right now, GP Knives is one of my favorite retailers. Tyler at the GP Knives definitely takes care of his customers. I wrote, notes in my notes section whenever I purchase it to check a few things, and he definitely checked them because he called me. So that's excellent service, unlike some company that's been letting me down here lately, but we'll talk about that another day. This knife it was sold in two different variations as of now. And I think they're the only ones that I saw had it. White Mountain Knives might have it too, I'm not sure. But it came with this green micarta right here, and also they called it snakeskin micarta. I don't really know if it's a multicolored snake looking micarta or not. It looked kind of like a light brownish. All right, let's get some specs out of the way. And this represents something that you don't see a whole lot with Civivi, and this is a sub 3-inch knife. And I know there's not a whole lot of them out there. I could probably count them on one hand. I know they have the Elementum, the McKenna, I think the Wyvern maybe, and they got some more coming. But it's definitely something that I love to see because I love my sub 3-inch knives. I don't mind every once in a while carrying a bigger blade, but this is definitely my sweet spot. And not to mention, they've released two sub 3-inch knives in this month alone, so that's awesome to see. So let's get into this one. Specs on this one: total length of 7 inches, a blade length of 2.94, so it should be legal in a lot of areas. I like how they kept it right underneath that 3-inch marker. You have a grip area of 3 3/8 inches. You have a handle thickness of 0.46 inches, so nice and slim. You have a width in the pocket of 1.46 inches. You have a blade stock thickness of 0.116 inches, or around 3 millimeters. And something that, Civivi now and we is known for is giving us those nice deep hollow grinds, and this one is no exception. This guy measured in at 14 thousandths like the shredder did, and sharpened at 15 degrees per side. A++ in my book. So let's get a close look at this. I love that blade shape. Kind of reminds me of the blade shape reminds me of some knife, maybe somewhat like of a Les George or something like that, but I absolutely love it. You have this clip point going down right here. You can see that clip right there. You have a nice wedge that goes all the way down to the tip and gives you a nice precise tip for piercing. You have their belts, their machine satin. That's pretty darn attractive. You can see the lines really well, nice and crisp. As you can see, you have a sterile blade on both sides. You got to really look for the D2. I don't even know if you can see it when the knife is open, because I saw it because I had to take the knife apart. And I think it's right behind here, if I recall. It's somewhere right behind the scale, so really cool. Kept it perfectly sterile for us. You have dual thumb studs that are kind of like a cone shape, and they're very nice. That's something I've noticed about the one on this one and on my Governor. There's no sharp edges, and a lot of times, like, if you get a cheaper knife, these steps that go up into the cone area can be kind of sharp because they're not deburred or anything. And these are nice and smooth. and they give you just enough grip to have some purchase onto the knife, onto the studs. You have a sharpening choil that definitely clears the plunge. You can see the plunge where my fingernail is right there. Excellent. And I don't, no, you definitely not gonna use it as a forward choil. And they didn't go too crazy with it. They could have came back just a little bit more, but I'm okay with that. You do have a slight thumb ramp right here with some jimping. And I would say the jimping's about medium. Gives you a little bit of traction. And another thing, if you look, you have a nice little thumb scoop from here to here, kind of like, you know, almost like a harpoon. I guess you could call it a harpoon. But that thumb fits perfect in there, and it definitely gives you some leverage. And you have somewhat of a flat right there, so it's not super uncomfortable. Let's close this knife up. There you go. There's a look at the micarta. I don't know. It just says green micarta. It kind of looks like canvas, but I don't know. It has a strange look to it. I mean, I have several knives. I think this is canvas micarta. Yeah. It has the same type of lines. I don't know. This one's dirty. But it's got that same tactile feeling. It's not polished, so you do get some grip there, as you hear. I like that. Even though I like the way the polished micarta looks, I don't like how you don't get that nice, you know, grippy tactile feeling like you do when you have like a satin finish on it or something like that. I actually may even rough it up more so you get that, you know, fibrous feeling underneath there. I think that feels really cool, and it soaks up the oils in your hands a lot better and changes colors easier, quicker. You have that same Civivi logo on the pivot. Some nice panhead, countersunk body screws, T8 throughout the knife. Excellent. Civivi just always checks off all the boxes when it comes to quality, for the most part. And also you can see you have a chamfer right here going along the entire outer edge of the scales to, you know, add some comfort in your grip. So when you're squeezing down, it kind of gives your hand the illusion that you have more, you know, like more of a rounded scale, but you just got flat with those deep chamfers. You have tip up, left or right hand carry. There's the pocket clip. I don't love the pocket clip, but it does the job. Same one as this one on the Elementum. As you can see, they countersunk the pocket clip screws, so it goes in and out of the pocket nicely. Let me show you what it looks like going in and out of the pocket. So not much sticking up at all. And I like to grab in that first little block and pull it out. It's got decent retention. Didn't feel like I was going to lose the knife. Let's see. You do have a small lanyard hole for all you lanyard people out there. Easy access to the thumb studs. They do sit proud of the scales, so you can easily get your thumb on there and pop it out. Detent's dialed in like pretty much, I'd say all the thumb openers, either if it's a blade hole or thumb stud. And you can also get your back finger to spotty flick it if you'd like, and you can slow roll it as well. The detent on mine allows me to easily slow roll it, and I don't know if they're all gonna be that way. Access to the lock bar. Lock bar sitting proud of the show side scale. You have some jimping right here, so I can easily disengage that lock. And my lockup is around, I'd say 25% or so. it could have, I would have liked it to be over just a little bit more. I like to see, especially in a liner lock, I like to see it engage 100% underneath the tang, to where, you know, you don't have any sticking out on this side. That way, you know, you got your complete lock bar catching the back of that tang. But there's no play whatsoever, no up or down, of course, and no side to side at all. Check out, you got some pretty decent blade to handle ratio, and you're definitely not going to come in contact with that blade when it's closed. Typical weave fashion, you can see, or Civivi, you can see heavily skeletonized. Love to see that. Keep that weight down. And let's see, I didn't show you all this, the back side. There you go, both sides. This knife is riding on phosphor bronze washers like the Governor. And while we have weight on my mind, let's see what this bad boy weighs. 3.21 ounces. 3.21 ounces. Hey, that's perfectly fine with me. Not your ounce and inch for blade, but definitely good to go for me. Let's get some size comparisons, and then I will talk about a few things that I didn't love about the knife. Let's see. Here it is with your Spyderco Delica. Delica is just a little bit longer than the Hooligan. And a good size comparison in length is the Rat Model 2. These are pretty much, if not identical, they're really darn close. The Rat may be, I mean, a smidge longer in blade, but if you look at the two handles, you have the exact same handle length. But it's something I'll talk about. I'm going to talk about something in my nitpicks in just a second, so I'll bring this back out in just a sec. Two more. Got another Civivi, the Elementum. These two also, if you have an Elementum, that they're pretty much the same size. Elementum is just, like I said with the last one, I mean, a stitch longer. And then the Ace Biblio. Ace Biblio is a little bit shorter. So there's some good size comparisons. Oh, I got one more right here. Another Civivi, the McKenna. And of course, the McKenna could fit inside the knife as far as width goes. But the McKenna is a little bit shorter than the Hooligan. So I think as far as Civivis go, the Elementum is your best size comparison. And another great size comparison is the Rat Model 2. Alrighty, so I'm going to talk about just a couple nitpicks, complaints. First off, I noticed this on my Governor too. I know we and Civivi, well, Civivi being a company of we, they have definitely kind of mastered the flipper on bearings and knives. Mastered that detent, but with I think this is my third phosphor bronze Civivi. It seems like I don't know. I would have rather see this one on bearings, because I don't know what it is, but I have taken this one apart because the action just was not great, and I don't think that's about as fall shut as it gets, and that's after doing a lot of work to it. It does have snappy action, real snappy, but whenever you're closing it, it's like I don't know, it feels like those washers are just going and I've polished them like I do all the time and cleaned everything up, made sure the washers are totally flat, and measured a few things. Everything looked good. And on this knife, I'm not sure, it almost seems like it's the pivot to where the thumb stud, how you have to push around this hump right there. and come around. That seems like it caused a little bit of drag. And like I said, just has that sticky feeling. So that's definitely it's not a problem. I mean, it's not hurting the functionality of the knife. The knife still functions great. It slices like a dream. But another thing I noticed while doing my cutting, the cardboard, I kind of noticed it, but I really noticed it doing the wood shaving. And I was cutting up some plastic, and I noticed this pretty bad. Let's bring out the Rat Model 2. The handle's pretty, pretty neutral. You have, just that choil right here. Now for the Rat, the way this choil is really small, and it kind of butts my finger up there. Whenever I'm putting a lot of pressure on it, this finger is not that comfortable in that little choil. It kind of like forces my finger. They did a good job on the choil on this one, but they added finger grooves, and that can lead to issues depending on the size of your hands or whatever. But my first 3 fingers fit perfect in there. And being that you have this last one, you have this hump right here. Well, where this finger wants to land is right there on top of that hump. And it's the same feeling I got whenever I would do hard cutting when I had my ZT-0450. It had that same little hump right there. And I pretty much had to like reposition to where my hand was sitting behind that hump, and it just felt weird. Like I had to cock the knife like this and kind of go down. Whoops, sorry. So that's not ideal. It's not a deal breaker for me. It may be for some. I have a medium-sized hand. If you bought a knife that I've talked about having, kind of wonky ergos, and you felt it, then maybe we have that same grip size. I don't know. The handles are the same exact size. The choils are just done different, and then having these extra finger grooves causes that to happen. So I don't know. Let me know what y'all think about that. I'm definitely excited though. I'm excited to see where Civivi's going with the smaller knives. I know there's definitely a market for them. I know a lot of people love their bigger knives. And like I said, I like some of them too. The Shredder, awesome knife. And this is another thing that made me excited, is seeing the micarta. It's not the most attractive micarta. I can't really put my finger on what it is. It might be more fiberglass than it has canvas, but it's a step in the right direction. I love micarta. It gets a character of its own from the oils in your hands. It just looks really vintage, and that's just something I like. So let me know what you think about the Hooligan. If you own it, let me know what you think. Let me know if you've had any issues with this knob this spot right here. All right, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them down below. If you like this video and you're not already, hit that subscribe button. And while you're at it, hit that bell notification so you don't miss anything. And go ahead and give this a big thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. And I hope everybody's having an absolute wonderful day. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.